Let's address the brutal reality first. Jasmy has been trapped in a financial prison for most of 2024. We're talking about repeated descending channels where every rally gets crushed by relentless selling pressure. But here's what most traders miss. These descending channels are like coiled springs. The longer they compress, the more explosive the eventual breakout becomes. And Jasmy? It's been compressing for 8 months. Look at this 2-day chart. Notice how price keeps making lower highs and lower lows, creating this textbook descending wedge. But there's something different happening now that changes everything. The distance between support and resistance is shrinking dramatically. We're approaching what technical analysts call the apex, the point where the pattern must resolve either up or down, and based on what I'm seeing, the odds heavily favor an upward explosion. The battlefield is crystal clear. Jasmy is pressing against the MA100, a moving average that's acted like an impenetrable wall. Every time price approaches this level, sellers emerge from nowhere to crush any momentum. But here's the game changer. Each rejection is getting weaker. The selling pressure that used to slam price down 20 to 30% is now barely managing 5 to 10% pullbacks. This tells us seller exhaustion is setting in. Analyst Jonathan Carter identified this exact pattern, and his analysis reveals something most traders completely overlook. When descending channels approach their breakdown point near major moving averages, the breakout often comes with explosive volume. Why? Because institutional traders and algorithms are programmed to recognize these exact setups. Once that MA100 breaks, automated buying systems activate, creating cascading momentum that retail traders can't match. If this technical breakdown is revealing market dynamics you've never considered before, smash that like button right now and subscribe to TJ Crypto World. I deliver these kinds of profit-focused analyses daily, and your engagement tells me you're serious about understanding what moves markets before the crowd catches on. Now let's discuss the profit potential that has my attention completely locked on this setup. Jonathan Carter's analysis identifies 3 critical price targets that could deliver life-changing returns. Target 1. $0.019. This represents the first major resistance zone after breaking the MA100. We're looking at approximately 58% upside from current levels, but that's just the appetizer. Target 2, $0.023. Here's where things get interesting. This level coincides with previous support that turned resistance, creating what we call a flip zone. If Jasmy reclaims this level, we're talking about 91% gains. Target 3, $0.032, the grand prize. This represents the major resistance from earlier this year, and reaching it would deliver 166% returns. But here's the kicker. If Jasmy breaks through $0.032, there's virtually no resistance until the all-time high levels. These aren't random numbers pulled from thin air. Each target represents a confluence of technical factors, previous support resistance, Fibonacci retracements, and volume profile analysis. But targets mean nothing without confirmation signals, and that's where this setup becomes truly compelling. Let's examine the momentum indicators that suggest this breakout is more than wishful thinking. First, the RSI is sitting in the lower half, meaning momentum has significant room to expand upward. When RSI breaks above the midline during a channel breakout, it often triggers algorithmic buying that accelerates the move. Second, notice the volume signature. Each bounce off support is showing higher volume than the previous bounce, while each rejection at resistance shows decreasing volume. This divergence suggests selling pressure is weakening while buying interest strengthens. Third, the descending channel itself is narrowing, forcing price into an increasingly tight range. This compression creates spring-like tension that must release through either a decisive break higher or a complete breakdown lower. Based on the momentum divergences and volume analysis, the probability heavily favors an upward resolution. Here's what separates profitable traders from the masses, understanding that breakouts aren't random events. They follow predictable timing patterns, and Jasmy is approaching a critical time window. Descending wedges typically resolve within 75% of their total formation time. Jasmy's current pattern has been developing for approximately 8 months, suggesting resolution should occur within the next 2-4 weeks. But there's another timing catalyst most traders ignore: Bitcoin's correlation patterns. Jasmy tends to break out during Bitcoin consolidation phases, not during Bitcoin rallies. And guess what phase Bitcoin is entering right now? This timing alignment suggests the next few weeks could deliver the breakout we've been anticipating. If you're starting to see why I consider this one of the most compelling setups in the current market, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Market opportunities like this don't announce themselves, they reward the prepared, and TJ Crypto World keeps you prepared with daily insights that position you ahead of market moves. Now let's discuss the elephant in the room. What happens if this breakout fails? Because successful trading isn't just about identifying opportunities. It's about protecting capital when those opportunities don't materialize. The critical support level sits at $0.0108. If Jasmy breaks below this level with volume, the entire bullish thesis becomes invalid, and we'd expect continuation of the downtrend towards $0.009. But here's the risk-reward calculation that makes this setup attractive. We're risking approximately 12% downside for potential upside exceeding 160%. That's a risk-reward ratio exceeding 13, 1 on the highest target. Smart positioning means starting with smaller sizes and adding on confirmed breakout, not gambling everything on the initial setup. The technical evidence is compelling, the timing appears optimal, and the risk-reward ratio strongly favors the bulls. Jasmy's descending channel breakout could deliver the kind of returns that validate months of patient analysis. But remember, markets don't move in straight lines, and even the most compelling setups can fail. Position sizing and risk management separate successful traders from cautionary tales. I want to personally thank every one of you for joining me in this deep dive technical analysis. Your engagement and support make content like this possible, and I never take that for granted. Before you go, make sure to check out my latest analysis on 3 altcoins positioned for 500% gains. It perfectly complements today's Jasmy breakdown and reveals other overlooked opportunities in the current market cycle. Until next time, this is TJ from TJ Crypto World, reminding you that the best trades often come from patterns others are too impatient to wait for. Keep analyzing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next breakdown where we'll continue uncovering the market's hidden opportunities. Let's address the brutal reality first. Jasmy has been trapped in a financial prison for most of 2024. But here's what most traders miss. These descending channels are like coiled springs. The longer they compress, the more explosive the eventual breakout becomes, and Jasmy, it's been compressing for 8 months. Target 1, $0.019. This represents the first major resistance zone after breaking the MA 100. We're looking at approximately 58% upside from current levels, but that's just the appetizer. Target 2, $0.023. Here's where things get interesting. This level coincides with previous support that turned resistance, creating what we call a flip zone. If Jasmy reclaims this level, we're talking about 91% gains. Target 3, $0.032, the grand prize. This represents the major resistance from earlier this year, and reaching it would deliver 166% returns. Subscribe for more updates.